On the Eastern Front, as early as the end of July 1914, Russia began full mobilization to respond to the threats from Germany and Austria-Hungary. On August 17, the Russian First and Second Armies arrived in East Prussia, launching an invasion of Germany's eastern border, forcing Germany to divert troops from the Western Front to support the East. Beginning on August 26, the commander of Germany's 8th Army led the German counterattack. The Germans used encirclement tactics, successfully surrounding and destroying the Russian Second Army, giving Germany the initiative on the Eastern Front. This is known as the Battle of Tannenberg. On October 29, the Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers. The entry of the Ottoman Empire cut off supplies to Russia from the Allied powers including Britain and France via the Turkish Straits, and tied down some Russian troops in the Caucasus. After the outbreak of World War I, the war's impact quickly expanded globally, with the participation of Canada, Australia, India and other Commonwealth nations. World War I became a global conflict. At the same time, Asia, Africa and the Middle East were also drawn into the war due to colonial disputes. Due to Japan's alliance with Britain and France early in the war, Japan decided to participate and aimed to seize Germany's colonies in Asia. On August 23, 1914, Japan invaded and occupied Germany's colony in Qingdao, China. Although China did not directly engage in the war, its territory and resources were subjected to exploitation by various countries. Starting in 1915, the German army and the British and French forces fought fierce battles on the Western Front, with both sides experiencing victories and defeats. Britain implemented a naval blockade against Germany to prevent essential supplies from entering Germany, forcing Germany to use submarines to attack British merchant ships. In retaliation, on May 7, 1915, a passenger liner traveling from the United States to Britain was attacked by a German submarine. Nearly 1,200 passengers on board lost their lives, including 128 Americans. This incident sparked an anti-German wave in the U.S. Under American pressure, Germany had to cease submarine attacks. The war continued for a year. As an ally, Italy did not immediately mobilize, but instead observed like an opportunist. In May 1915, Italy saw that the price offered by Britain and France was twice that of the territory promised by Germany. Italy acted treacherously, declaring war on Austria-Hungary, but Italy's strength was weaker than that of the Austro-Hungarian army. Throughout World War I, the Austro-Hungarian army repeatedly repelled Italian attacks thanks to the protection of the Alps. On the Eastern Front, the Austro-German forces launched offensives in the summer of 1915, successfully defeating the Russian army and occupying Poland. Following this, the Austro-German forces pressed their advantage, advancing along the Eastern Front and occupying all of Serbia. Meanwhile, as a central power, the Ottoman Empire defeated the Allied forces' 250,000 soldiers during the Gallipoli campaign over the course of 11 months. The British naval commander overseeing this campaign, Winston Churchill, was dismissed as a result. Throughout 1915, the Central Powers' advances were swift. The Allies placed their hopes on 1916, hoping to achieve a breakthrough through larger-scale victories. Thus in 1916, two horrific battles occurred on the Somme and at Verdun. The Battle of the Somme took place from June to November 1916, with the British and French forces attempting to break through the German defenses and push them back to the Franco-German border. In the Somme area of northern France, the fighting resulted in a total of 1.3 million casualties, making it one of the bloodiest battles in World War I, and marking the first use of tanks in combat in human history. In this battle, the Germans successfully intercepted the Allies' strategic objectives. The Battle of Verdun lasted from February to December 1916, with Germany and France both committing over 100,000 troops. The French suffered 543,000 casualties while the Germans lost 433,000. This battle became known as a meat grinder. The Germans were drained of their strength in this campaign. As the French counterattacked, they gradually recaptured large territories east of Verdun. The Germans were pushed back. After 2 years of warfare, all countries had nearly exhausted their resources, but there were not significant changes on the front lines of either camp. Europe faced food shortages and economic difficulties.